Here is the generator in the back of the ballroom up on top of the hill. I have the top of the case open, but it will automatically start if you lose power. And there's only two settings on this. There's an auto, which is what it's on normally, and then there's a manual. If for some reason it wouldn't start in automatic, you come and you press the manual. I'm going to push this in a minute, but I won't push it now because it makes too much noise. But I'll push this and we'll start the generator, and then I'll give you some other instructions inside. This is the electrical panel in the back of the ballroom, and below the panel there is a generator auxiliary control box. And how this system works is when the green light is on, you are receiving power from the energy company, from PECO, and the generator is looking for that signal. And as long as it sees that 220 volt signal, it doesn't turn on. But when the power drops out, and there's a control circuit. This is something that you do not have to do, but I'm going to turn this off. So that light has now gone off. That's kind of, I'm saying that now there's no power in the house. And in 45 seconds, the generator will turn back on. Now, what happens? Okay, let's go outside. Maybe you can hear the generator now has come on. Now, sometimes what happens is if you get a temporary power interruption, you know, like the lights dim or flash, this bulb will go out and it won't come back on when the power comes back on. Like if I turn the power back on now, that light won't come back on. It's a control circuit. And so if you come to the house and the generator is running, all you need to do is come out here and push this reset button and the light comes back on, and then within 45 seconds the generator shuts off. Now I'm not going to wait for the generator to turn off. Now once the generator is running, what you need to do is to go downstairs to the main power and throw the transfer switch. We'll go there now. So now we've come downstairs, and you'll see that over by the main power box there's a light bulb above the box, and that light bulb comes on when the generator comes on. So that enables you to come down here and not have to, worry about having a flashlight. So there's two boxes here. There's the box on the right, which is a typical electrical panel for your house, and then there's a box on the left, which is the transfer switch. What this does is it transfers the entire house to the generator off of PECO Electric. Now, the generator is only 65 amps, and the house is 200 amps. So the generator really can't handle the entire load of the house. And there's a panel right here that you should read. It explains everything. And these colored circuit breakers, either yellow or red, cannot be used with the generator except by managing them. The ones that are in yellow, the outside heater, inside heater, and also inside heater, can never be run with the generator. The generator does not have enough power. The other ones, the red ones, the water heater, the clothes dryer, and the kitchen range, they need to be managed so that you don't exceed the capacity of the generator. And down here are 2 amp meters that will tell you about how close you're running to the capacity. Plus here right now we're generating about 260 volts. That will start to drop as the current goes up. So you need to pay attention a little bit. I would suspect in the case of what you're going to be doing, you only need to worry about leaving the hot water heater on. So when you come over to the main panel, we've got these yellowed, highlighted circuit breakers. We're going to turn them off. Then you have a choice then of the clothes dryer, the kitchen range, or the water heater. So we'll turn off the clothes dryer and the kitchen range. We'll leave the water heater on. So, and all of the other circuit breakers can stay on. The generator has enough power to run all the lights and TV and everything else. So now what we're going to do is we're going to transfer from Pico, and it should say up here Pico, to down here it says generator, by using this red lever. And this is pretty hard to pull, so when you go to pull it, don't think that you're breaking it or something. Just give it a good pull. So here we go. Alright, so we pulled that over, and now we're on the generator. And I didn't show you before, but we're drawing like 15 amps, and the voltage is still 260, 255. The hertz is like 61 hertz. So we're running, you know, really controlled. It can run like this for days. There's no problem. It will run the refrigerator, it can run the well, and it can run the water heater. Now when the water heater kicks in, this will go up to about 30-35 amps, and it's across each leg. So feel free to put your stuff in the freezer if you want to. Now the next thing to do is to be able to tell when the power comes back on. We're going to go outside and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, if the electricity goes off, I turn the corner lights on in the barn. Now these lights, you know, they won't come on without electricity, but it's an indication then that the Pico lights have come back on because the barn is not on the generator. So if you go in to the bottom of the barn, and you turn on the switch closest to the door jamb. Now, this is a 3-way switch, so it's even though it appears it might be on, it's not, because obviously the switch at the top of the stairs is the other direction. So just move this to the opposite direction, and the lights won't come on because the power's off. Now, in our case now, those lights are going to come on because the Pico power is on. But what you do is from the house, then you can look out at the barn occasionally, and when you see those lights on, then you know that you have power back from Pico, and you can go downstairs and throw the switch, go out to the ballroom and press that reset button. The generator will shut off in 45 seconds approximately, and then you're good to go. So hopefully you won't need to use the system. I would suggest if you need to use the system, call me and let's see if I'm available and I can kind of walk you through it. Normally when we go away, I leave the system off so that it doesn't come on while you're you know, coming in to dog sit. But there's no reason. I have complete confidence in the system. We've used it maybe, you know, 30 times in the 8 years that it's been installed, so it does work very well. Thanks, Shana.